Adeshimai mami mamunyina akwa aba premo ato Mijina Ship House Abeka Junction ewo Enkrankrudium hakasebo ayaboaboa no enura anwumre na nopo ya ebepem sabre ne ye ama me se me famrem se prem to brekasebo ene bnada awie yi na kasebo no nwumakuo bi na aso yemu ama yemu ayedru this way chocolate drink yesi de ohia eye ensuhie special ice mineral water ene nanono de ne drinks no flavors ne edoso pa wo pebi aseve o program asede ya kamfo eye special ice mineral water ene drinks no amount best point savings and loans na say sikasem ye behwe amana toto yie pa wo mu ehse wo maba ye nchen pe *277# eye digital banking wo de omuni nsa wo so na wo mu entime emu a YouTube nchene so eka ho enwuapo bi eka we hu na so bi mu ama memu ayeduru kasebo no edroso pa de ebedi mu akotene bi eni Omai Germany ene Ghana empanimfo edi nkomo a wo mu akasa afa apadie ene nipa yedie ensem ehu Sanso ena honorable Brian Achampon enso ede atudwa se aya waso West Wagon ntokwa esi wo ho by elections no emu no ade a ate yen democracy so pa ewo oman yi emu na EPF so ede kokobo abasesisia no emframa ewo wiemu no ade a emu fi pa nti wonam a yema yen nose mask no emen se de be yebetimi abo yapomode ho eban na wo amanoni ensemu so ne kopie mu ewo Nigeria enche wo mu ebeto abana police officers beti se enwotwe na aminfo bi akoto ahye wo mu so ekun wo mu ensem bi eka we hu ya editie na edihwe ne esamufo asone so se memfamrem se premto brekasebo ene branda awie yi mi a mi bedi ho chia me musomfo ajoa obi ya obi ye munra kasebo no eni ye remu dia na ye kwa kopie mu ewo omampani nana adedankwa akufuado ye kɔ ne nkyɛn abankesie mu asɛm na mekan mene mo kasai no omampani ne asoafo mienu ya wo mu efri Germany mamu no wɔne ɔmo adi nkitaho mapa ya wo mu ehwɛ kwan ahodo a ɔman yi ya paade hu ensɛm na afe nipa yi edi hu ensɛm no wo mu ebetimi ahyɛm kina ewo aman mienu no entam na asoafo mienu eye Minister for Economic Cooperation and Development wo Germany Chimamu na ye Minister for Labor and Social Affairs wo mu nyina ene omampani ni wo mu ka bi yeye no adi nkitaho a wo mu hwe kwan ahodo wo mbefa so amana yeye
Journey here is about two big topics. It is the economic cooperation. You know that we have adopted the Act on Corporate Due Diligence in Supply Chains. That is what my colleague will deepen, that we want to know how that goes on here in Ghana, because we know you do a lot, you get really steps forward in all your work here, and we want now to know, does our Act on Corporate Due Diligence, how that works here? Do we need do we need to work together on the effects? What's going on in this field? And the other one is migration. That is also a very important topic for us, because we have a strong partnership in that too. We have this migration center, and looking how that works, how we can develop that forward. We want to make it now to a European center, not only Ghana and Germany, but Ghana and Europe. That is also the second topic where we work here, and we're really happy to be here with you, have the chance to discuss all the important topics and stay here for the next days to deepen the friendship we have.
And we know that since German law became effective January 1, from ILO, we know already that Brussels, European Union are already looking at that, and other countries we know are already essentially what is likely, and the Canadian and the US have or are working on something similar. So what we say is that something that is going to very likely be very common. How, and I like the expression that my minister used, saying that it's not to have less trade. In fact, it's to have more and better trade. So the whole point, okay, can we come and first of all learn from the Ghanaian what is going, what is status, and is there something that they could do to help us, and together with ILO, to make sure that this new law is really an incentive to moving forward, and ILO is committed to work with that.
the two main matters that have brought you here, to see to what extent economic cooperation between our two countries is working and what we need to do to improve it, modify it, and change it. I think it's important, and that we are in a position to be looking at that on a regular basis to make sure that your aspirations and our aspirations are met by that cooperation. And that can only be so if we have a mechanism for constant review of the relationship. So I welcome the initiative that you've taken in beginning that process. The migration problem is an issue that is extremely extant in Europe, has been for a decade, and will continue to be for some time to come, especially until we get our own house in order, that our young people make the decision to stay on the continent and in our countries rather than to go and look for the golden fleece elsewhere. And that is all a function of how well we govern and how well we create the opportunities here for them to be able to do so. That is a major preoccupation of ours. It has been
Free abankasi mu ne nkokopie mu ewo emrahye bedwam na appointment committee for womo asho mo vete no ase enam so ema soafo a yabobo wondin se womo gi womo atuma womo ya soafo ewo NPP abamu no womo hyase ene womo edi enkomo na honorable Brian Echampon so kokopie mu no ne yabo ne din eye minister designate se womo hwe aduane ene kuaye ho ensem so bibia ekoyie ema no a na no kokopie mu no de eba betu dwase eye by election ya ekoso ewo eyawa so West Wogon abato mpesua so na basabasa ye esi wo ho no eyade bako ate democracy eye kabima minka bi sopa ewo oman yi emu na amafo ekeka se wo no enema order se security personnel ahodo mkokopie mu wo ho no wo mo enkoye mrenti wasem ewo ho no no wo kyerem se enye ono no ma sa order no empo obi akora amfi mu se na amafo bi ekyere se obi efri mu ewo abato mpesua no eso no.
There's no evidence to suggest so, that I was responsible for the SWAT team at the Ministry of National Security. So if a finding is made that the people were sent to Ayawaso under the command of a police officer, and the police officer was under the command of a director of operations, and the director of operations is under the command of the Minister of State of National Security, and the Minister of State of National Security is under the command of the Minister of National Security, and the Minister of National Security is under the command of the President, and so on and so forth. Where does it end? And why will they come and end it at my doorstep? Not being part of the operation, not being part of the command on that day, to come and place a finding that and the Minister of State must have ultimate responsibility. No evidence was given to that. Mr. Chairman, I did not authorize that operation, and that is why it was easy for the white paper to say that they reject the recommendation because it is without basis. But I must add that the Ayawaso incident is a blot on our democracy. I pray that it doesn't happen again. I am in support of Cocoa Board funding some critical infrastructure for as long as it facilitates the movement of cocoa products. I cannot support Cocoa Board funding asphalt roads in Accra, but I will support Cocoa Board funding an access road in Asankregwa or wherever cocoa is grown. Sankore. That I can support. I am getting the briefing on the cocoa road expenditure. I'm still being briefed on it. It looks quite substantial, but I am also aware that the cocoa bills have been added to the government debt. If Minority Leader will note to that the cocoa bills have been added to the government debt, just like the ESLA and the DACHI, for they've all been They've all been added to the government debt. And there's a program around this government debt restructuring. So I pray that by the time all this thing is over, Cocoa Board will have a new leash on life to be able to execute its mandate. I have become aware, yesterday somebody told me that it's not just smuggling alone, legitimate export of our produce, that there are trucks in Techiman and up there carting our rice to Nigeria and to Burkina and all that. And if they can see me and hear me, they should be on alert that if this committee approves me, hopefully, it's going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. It shall come to an end.
Na yɛnyina so a enyina ɛyɛ mmarahyɛ bedwam ho appointment committee for na so mo kɔ asetena me ne mo kasa na sɛ mpempren ya de ɛyɛ honorable Obi Amwa minister designate for local government wo no ɛna tie adwa so sisi a yɛ vet no nti yɛnkotie ensɛm ahodo a etwagu ɛwɔ ɛyɛ appointment committee for akachi.
Answer the questions yes or no. Cut out the argument. Yes, he says, would you say the president, do you agree or not? Oh, leave it there.
The president has not heard. I'm just drawing your attention that you cannot, over this short period, say that it's good, so he has to carry it through. That's all.
Okay, just for your information, I actually said I commended the president when he decided. I would have been happier if he even reduced the deputy ministers. But that's for another day. I would go this way. When you take the report on audit of government of Ghana COVID expenditure for the period March 20th to June 2022, that document on page 53, a table headlined Misapplication of COVID-19 Funds. The second table talks about release of funds and actually the main headline is the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. And it says, release of funds for the purchase of curtains for the following rooms: room 32, room 13, room 38, a number of rooms up to room 27. 27,057 cedis and 2 pesos. At the time of COVID, when things were difficult, do you think it was appropriate for your ministry to use 27,000 to buy curtains? Are curtains the most urgent things when you have a medical, a disaster in a country? Yes.
The Auditor General has found that to be misapplication, and the ministry has been asked to rectify it. That's all I can say.
Did the ministry spend that amount of money on curtains in a medical COVID money under a medical disaster emergency?
This cannot be a personal question for me because what you're saying, I'm not even aware. But I'm saying that that's what the Auditor General has found out, and he says it's misapplication. So the ministry should rectify it, and that's what we're doing.
Do you find, if it is true, will you say that that was a wrong way of spending public funds under a medical emergency?
That's what the Auditor General has said. And the Auditor General is saying that the funds were allocated for specific purpose. And if for any reason you don't apply to that purpose, then you have misapplied the funds. So you face the consequences.
Well, Honorable, a senior colleague, you are the one who, Auditor General doesn't want to be Minister of Local Government. You are the one who wants to be the minister. You may be the one making similar decisions. So I'm asking you, will you take a decision like that?
Yɛmfiri mmarahyɛ bedwam na yɛnkɔ nsɛm foforɔ so na Environmental Protection Agency ɛyɛ adwumakuo ɔmo na hwɛ yɛmpotamu mframa yɛhome ɛne nneɛma ahodoɔ ɛtete sa wɔn hwɛ sɛ betumi adi mu yie wɔn ɛde kɔkɔbɔ ɛne afutuo ama Ghanafoɔ nyinaa sɛ wɔn ɛyɛ nhwehwɛmu no mahu sɛ mframa yi asese ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana mu anase ɛwɔ ewie mu no ɛyɛ ade a mfuturo ahyɛ mu mapa nti wɔn gyina so ɛde kɔkɔbɔ ama yɛn nyinaa sɛ yɛnam mmɔnten so yi yɛhwɛ yɛn ho yɛ fisi saa mframa no asese yɛhome ɛkɔ yɛn mu no ɛmoa apɔmuden kora nti adeɛ baako betumi aboa yɛn yie paa ɛne sɛ nose mask yi yɛbɛsan akɔ so bio ne akɔ akɔfa ahyɛ.
My Ghana wɔ Pebre mu Hamatan season na paade ahunufo ɛwɔ wie mu ɛno ne Ghana Meteorological Agency wɔn hwehwɛ mu ne mfoni wɔn twa nyinaa ɛkyerɛ mu so wɔn ahumfutubrane anase dust a efiri Sahara regions no mu na ne ɛbɔbɔ nkakra ɛde ba bepie mu ɛwɔ Manchester my Ghana mu a wɔn ɛbɛka ne pipo sɛ ɛnyɛ ɛmfa manipa apɔmuden ensem. Environmental Protection Agency EPA wɔn afrɛns ntwerɛfoɔ nhyɛ mu die nti ɛhɔ ɛna panik ntwerɛfoɔ a wɔda wɔn ano Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, what is answer when you know about between and for enim. Na ekwan opesi ya faso ebo ye ho ban ene saa mfutubrani anase dusty, baby a free air ban nyina no. Sanya wopese yete efa ho no. Sei ena UTV nsɛnhwɛ for ye gye ne nsɛm.
Nia ye hui wɔn a wo mu ahoɔden pa ne GM for. Ma me ate ase sɛ ɛyɛ ɔbɔ ade abɔbre mu nhyehyɛ mu no bia. Brebidura ne ɛso opesi Pesia, Yemu Yudu Kakra, Nafe, Huna dear, and Quachri P. And from Manumua you do, said he who no dan. Now, much there and say, from my air boffa, Paprano so, Paprani desert, Sahara, Boffa sosa at the foot runner num, foot running been a chia fire hanum, ye huni. I can't boom. No na ye ka se eno ho na emum ye ne ansusu ye ne ye bi ayeye emmoa ebi ni gya hyehye ne emahunu hyehye rubber ties ewira a waprapra ne fie wadodo ne fie no atwagya atum aduane kura ye no an behwe na ya kagya agum na wisie tatatata nyina ka ho bi ana emmoa
ye health ewo increased risk near tieni says ye homina says mframane koye mu a ekọ bebia ye frene lungs na eya na etimi kose yare bebre wo ye lungs mu na apart from your lungs mu so no say esane say particles ni ye nketenkete no eya na etimi free ho so ekọ ye moje mu enti na kire say organ bia ewo ye body ni mu no yetimi nya yare from exposure to this kind of bad quality air in these last days no enti enkrofo ti say omo asthma so omo wo sa environment we mu na echa omo timi nya more asthmatic attacks and as ye treat omo so itimi ye more difficult than usual to treat enti ne echa ni say ye as individuals na ye wonyama e wo se ye protect ye ho.
Yenko ahumano so ne ne owura Adib Sani ya oye security and intelligence analyst ye ne entwetwe nkomo efa boko ntawantawa ama ne hom ne so bio ewo ho ne yenyina nim se na wotwe atwa mu na mentimi ho ase kakra bi esore ewo boko empotam ho enti yekoba ne sia ne sese yenye obi na ye ne di nkomo efa bambo ho ensem ho enti ne yekọ owura Adib Sani enchen na waboye nchemu kakra owura Adib mu akwaba eba prem to breakfast eboyi so
ye ne
na bibia boko de
ya da nyankopon atemoswe
nyame adom ye ho ye ewo ha pa na bokunta wanta we aya ne ho se bola suja ewo ho a na asadum ewo ho a na asori ewo ho a na asadum ewo ho a na asori sese pa den pa na ye betumi aya fa sa asemi ho.
Well, never also, but there were two major categories. There was short-term, any long-term approach. I think at this point in time, because of that botched operation, no, putting government in a position of weakness instead of strength. At the same time, also, limiting government in the options, because one of the options now, the arrest to prove a point. Say yes, indeed. You were Bonia Murano de Ebekau. But at this point in time, it's quite obvious, government, to me, Inchi Nairi ana Boku Naba ana any of Kingsmen no, and so options no are limited. As a result, I would expect that in the interim, engage two sides, say carrot and stick approach. Use a bit of force, use a bit of diplomacy, and see how collectively you agree on certain principles aimed at ensuring peace in the area. And secondly, arrest no there postpone no in the meantime, and rather focus on ensuring we don't have an escalation as a result of new Boku Naba going to Boku, because Kusasi for no almost on standby, waiting to see what happens and waiting to see whether indeed new Boku Naba or paper Boku. But going forward, I think that young addressing a lot of human insecurities as a result of a human nihonti. As a result of proliferation of a tool, also as a result of a bimu conflict contractors, benefit from their cost, benefit politically, benefit financially. So to me, addresses deep-rooted socio-economic and geopolitical deficits. Me assure a bit in ensuring that peace is restored. Boku in a much more sustainable basis.
Ora adib sane mete wasie yi a na sese no pese wo ka se esese aban ne afanu no nyina edi nkita ho na wo mo etna se ekasa chense aban be ka se wo kwa akochiri obi wo mpotamu ho.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because Minia, the way I am there's absolutely no way. Let me not believe about it. All right. Media me pay straightforward. Look at me in the face and talk to me. Okay. So at this point in time, the only way would be to kill Mojabefrim. Because for me, human wall around. And there's no way you can access without the use of force, including brute force. And then careful. All right? And look at the other means to ensure peace in that area.
Nasasia no bambo munsem so yebeka ne sen. Sabre ya say bambofo wo mposo wo mukọ ekoboa kra ema eye asudwe eye bamu ewo ho a ete se de timamufo resist se wo ma wo mo emma yi na kwa be ne be fa so abo afanu no hu nyina e ban fi se wo mu nyina obia akoma e wo so obia susu se wo ne di ade ne ade ti kwa be ne be fa so ama sa bambo no so atimi adi mu e wo ye bokumpotem ho.
Well, currently by before there omu wo honom pa Boku any Nalergu, and I think Wale because Nura omu block kwan car kwan, but I think it has been opened up. At the same time, say young here by before on the ground. I think at the same time, I think there's a need for more engagement on Kata. Okay. So I would have expected, say, by this time, government send a delegation to Nairi, Nepali. Okay, and seek to de-escalate. And at the same time, almost any high-power delegation to Zoran, Boku Naba, Kusasi Honum, because almost they are waiting to see what government does. We'll see. But we are just trusting the process. Okay, so young call Honum, and see how we can get them to tell the young people, relax it so that, the issue is dealt with amicably.
Na sesi aso yanhwe ne say you, wo se wo mo e wati fidu wo mo wo boda ho a na wo hwe ntawantawa ekoso terrorism ne sa ne manema ne nyina sesi ade ekoso e bebo ana anhwa obi betimi afaso aba bewura Ghana mu ato yenche bi betimi asiu e ho no so de na e betimi aka afa ho.
Oh, and no, because jihadists, militants, use like the most convenient way, establish foothold. If Let me have our examples with Al-Qaeda almost established in Sudan because of insecurity. Al-Shabaab almost to me established footholds in Somalia because there was lack of governmental control. Burkina Faso, there were many ungoverned places. So, almost me use Boku as a stepping stone into Ghana because Boku issue no almost a unique opportunity because all the recipes and all the unique opportunity to come in. Because national security already where last year that reports we were about movement of certain persons. That was even after police almost from police headquarters to Upper East Regional Command. Almost see a move free Burkina Faso almost to Boku and almost call back, and so there's a need for them to keep an eye on them. NARD. So Boku there presented to us our weakest link so far as preventing violent extremism in Ghana is concerned. And in the wake of movements in recent times, there were about movements of refugees into Ghana because of attacks. There were Burkina Faso. What's the possibility there? Militants mix with these refugees and come into the country. So Boko Haram there pose an existential security threat to the nation. So Uti Accra, Ana Kumasi, Ana Takra, they Ujini say, oh, they we assem way there, stream for assem there. You have to rethink because a bet me affect Opia security in the Bible sem Ghana. Secondly, there was the possibility of conflict spreading to other towns and villages, Pusiga, Binduri, Garu, Timpani, Wale, Nalergu, and because there were quite a sizable Mampusi and Kusasi population in all these towns. All right, so you're careful to control it so it doesn't spread to other, parts of the area. Boku, more unique opportunities. So Boku is a central business district. Boku Petmia rivalry Bonga as the regional capital. Unfortunately, in Takwanunti, Mrantenu Bebre over to Boa in improving the economic fortunes of the area. You see, so it's a very sad situation because Boku need excuse to live in poverty.
Ora Adib Sani, ye better wasi ewo ye. O tese kakra wo de kan ho efa eye boko entokwa yi eho owura Adib Sani ye security and intelligence analyst ya wono ewo my government mre titi sie ne ekọ nchen na yakwakoji afutuo kakra afini nchen ye mfiri nchen na ye nko ensem foforo mu na owura Alan Chematin ana honorable wadana trimupo adi se obetru franka ama NPP amanyokuo ntini sa so ntie no wahye aprabo asiya woni na mantam animansi ahodo no emu na wakwakwa mu ewo oti region ye dambai enam so ema na namachankodwa netimamufu a wo mo ho ni mpanimfu ahodo ho nyina no wo mo agene fefefe so ewo ho pa
Abra wokasa ewo hina himfie ana Alanche Mantin ede ne nantese nyina etu edwa no kire mu sani nti e wo ba ho ne nyina ene se opese woni omanfo no edi ehia na afenso ne botaye esi ne ni so enu nti wo pese wodi NPP amanyuko nanim ewo afenpinu ni edunu na abato num so wadan na di na wose wo ba betena konya ne so anase wonya sa dibre na obebo ne homoden se de be ya mabunu ebetimi anya adwumaye ewo yeman mu
se mo ti asese Alan ba Ajuma Baba Ghana. Safuto ometie. Say, free SHS. Aboy, ambayi nananu omako school. To school ya say onya adwuma ye. To school ye no anya adwuma anya. Na school no, no fa so no na ensi. Say dia ka wo Ghana. Aye hia obi foforo oba baba. Na odin ani besi saade no so no aye adwuma no na dawo we dey say ala me ba Sashi no
Catherine Afeku Eka Alanche maintain campaign team no ho na bro ni UTV kase twetwe nkomo no twemu said you omukodru ho no mo manfo no eje won so no na efedodo na wose NPP fo ni swade hunu ye break the 8 no say betimi abamu pa dia ene na etwa so moto aba eyi obi a omanfo na ni gye no ho a obetimi eduomo edru sro ho
NPP fo mama ye hu say abaye kwakoto ye wo crossroad ye mfa obi a se bempredi asa ne ton enkoye den ye mfa obi a wo fi ba bia NPP fo hoden no ewo so first no na ka Volta ho obi a wo Ghana ha oni we changes the Volta region NDC stronghold and Ashanti region MPP stronghold this who yi obi akoton na yi obi a obe fi ba bia anwokeka na ye de to abama no ewo so na watumi abo awura wo enua ye NDC so diem ye ba Volta ni oti no hu say likability ene ahokeka no ewo soro ema ye wura kyerematen nti o mokasa se we ena mode ne ba ene ye be mamu akwanya ema moatiaso
na da priasi eye ekura ewo Konfu Krom electoral area ewo Pru West abato empesua so anase mansini mu menemo kasa ne kromu ni nyina akyerese kuaye a wo mo eye no wo mo enye biu na emom bidie na wo mo behye ho ni nyina ene se wo mo kanantwie ewo mpotam ho no eyade a wo mo tete wo mo mfuo mu ya enam so ma asundwie ene kyese kwan wo befa so atena ho yie kura no aye den ama wo mo entisesia no wo mo agya kuaye no a wo mo nyina ehye bidie
Mfulani fundi no kureni ananjuna mo haye area hapa Nyagro ndi esre mpeni mfose munye ho bibie emfa emaye because na uko afuma nipa ba kunkura wuntimi nko gese mo doso wo freni ni hia wa obetima di ubona tituru ema ndi ama ehu akan ye hapa ndi esre mpeni mfose munye ho bibie mfa maye
ena kurapa fulani for the omo haye papa se men kama ne ngwa me ankasa me papa kura e ka ho just last year e ka ho se imagine so wan kasa wa bre wa do afu adua ba yere abo ho ka bebre a huge sums of money na at the end of the day and am chebe ba say ne mana fudie na wato go na chebe ba say ni nyina just like that ena o de koto panyi bi ani mo unya mo ye papa bia not even one city kura me papa dey American just last year ya no kan ho na see 3 times enti no e ko ba sa na ase wo bam kura be busa adwuma no untimi nya bi because we ya at the end of the day no nya results papa bia
we no kware because we bet ma boka be over 100 million akodo afuo mo abese ni nyina wo kwa orentia friend ni yo pe no de be ma wo bi kura woro ma ota emfa na de bako na se na sa se ne woni asase wo ya ndeko nti ya ne kama fo na ntwie se de mo si haye ho no utu bayra uhunu kwa faso a obeja bayra ho ba fie na not this ne me yere na me nkura wa fu na ntwie buru taade da ba ho ba dade de na me ni ho nti na no kura ya kiten ka kopam mo ne na ma me na wu ya nti me kopam mo nti mo haye pa ma fu ya me nsa e bia na matu bayra to afu no mu sa na ntwie nti na ntwie de mo haye yiye to be a tribute on the business craft by the go na say we hear mistake on very by the nyina na na kura pa ti ko was a bidie amanfo shi bidie pa nti na kura ti na ntwe mo haye
isa wo kan ya na ne kan ye den kakra na ni kwan se wo ye kua ni kura wo nso wo di wa kua adwuma no ko tiatia obi fa ahodie so nti akuafo no wo nokre so mo kan me ka sai ese na wo twemien se atwamuni na wo de krata bre me se nantwiyen for ha wo mo adwen wo mo akua adwuma mu enti me ye dissect chairman wo twere krata bre mo hwa krata no omo copy nipa bebre na mi hu se anhwe ya ebeha ebi mo se empanimfo bi tare akire na omo se wo montena ho nti omo de omo ni hwe ko na still wo hwa ya na ne ya mo ye no ha dwen me de nka wo bae na se wo ni akuafo ne te wo sori a wo de wo moa akọ adidie wo mfa nko obi afuom wo nsɛ obi a ne ma de a se wo nso ye kuani e fa se wo ye wadwuma
na adehia wo mo ewo fante wonan ya ewo Upper West Achim mansini mu eso esupa wo mo chese wo makwan ene akwantempon wo nyina eso atutu apansam kra ya chese ye bridges ahodo edi omu free baabi ekọ baabi ni nyina no eyade a eho ayeden ni nyina kra asese ewo mpotam ho ne saaso ntie no ama akobade ho ayeden na saabre ensuo kra be hyase atoidie ene na bibia asai kra wo mu kọ baabi a wo mu ebre papa ansa na wo mu akwa kodu ho ntie mpanifo mehwe enye akwan no ema wo
Adehye omo fante we nan de omo nsem otu yanim no mo kirem so omo akwabedi nsem no akwakoye buachi bidin yesan se kwan a omo faso edidi dwumadi ahodo ni nyina no enya ade a ekwan no ni nyina so no ya tete apansam se ko ntebe pa ena afenso mpo no ko mo nyansam so a enko betimi etwa ede akokoro we asan akọ ede aba ka ni nyina no ya ade ebeboa nanso nso sansam so no ana bridge no ebi mpo eni wo no mo
ya bre ya de ahodin ayanyema bebre kanka efi ha ko asuoko kwai ne papa mu twa kwan sabru ne nkwala kra ye bo mo kwan abedem fine ne kurani abedem na so enamu efishe sa kwan project ayegusi ye sese ade bia ede ya kuma ho dendende enti ye kuroni ne ehwe titira ne se aban beba beboan ye ne mahoro ye hie nyina especially sa kwan ye tiwi eyasam ketwa kwan se bedemu a ebetwi ni bebebre ka kwan kwa efi akra ban kwa saman kwa ebetumi esiga mana yi nti yesra ban pa so ombeboa
kwan a yetwem ko yefom no enye kra eni nti ye pese aban ombe meboa yen ya kase ye de ahoden aye bi ena eku aye wom so ekura so ye Coco Life won so wa beboa yen pa na sese ahoden asa nti ehia aban ne mboa ana obi biala owo bibia opese oboa no obetuma aba beboa me de aye ye mbreje no
ye bre ye amba won ko school ye kwafa de ben abedi a enye ye ya blant ye sraban ya to aba fitina na ma abredo aba pim sembre oboafo biala yin ba biala nti ye hia aban momadia moboa yen
President ma West Achim Cocoa Farmers and Marketing Union Ora Eduo Sel Samson edin sem to dwa wo kire mu se
yes ye cocoa rose e wo Ghana enso cocoa rose no bengu se ye gusu kota ebi ninam enkran mekai nsanwumtu kede ese cocoa rose enso sa kwan nyina kwan no kra cocoa ni ho enso mo branch se wo baba bi ti se katansua winan ansa rakasim winan ni abam krom ni ade a ehon na cocoa ewo enso ye ni cocoa rose ye betwa wo kwan amawa age se 4 years a amanyofo ebe pe vote na san ye twama emmo yan kra enti ma yanti cocoa rose na nkasa se minim se cocoa road ya na nka baabi a yedua cocoa ehɔ na nka se aban etwa na ni behwe
na timamufo a wo etu kwan efri sehwe boyzan ekɔ asanwene so ye ewo dwabo so kwantempon so esu wo so etese kwan no atete apansam pa na wo te hɔ na 2020 omampani na dankwa kufu ade be campaign wo hɔ ka kire wo se wo be ye kwan no ama wo besi sa biri mfie miensantam nie enya ade a wo abesi so a wo ye kwan no to wo sere aban se ne wura fi a wo kai no wo meye kwan no
Adi bibli chese contractor no kwan ya wodi yen driver for the fashion enye chese first no ye kwan na mo fam fidie ni ayi megusu na ye mi fi se na ye ti se kwan sesi a wonam so a potholes sesi a me no kase sesi obi akotoka ene ya wa yi ka na wodi ba ya kana be hwia so ye kan so because of kwan na mo aye no mo aye ni contractor ndi o disappoint ye pa sesi a ba bia wa ya du je se ka wa start se wo ye greatest mo kunu so dan ka se kwan so yin bi se anka wo ba be enzo se o start se o ye gata se be 6 months or 1 year ni we see have you ye hwe ni se ye se na o me kwan ma ye na boizan so ye elia bia ye to aba pa haya hinkro we yo sufu ha boizan na yo ho asukro etwa ye hu nyina hye nyina okota asuboizan ko ade ye nim de aya aba no
ya hoden entumi de ya hoden etumi ye kakra ne se edrum re bia na youth e wokurum na ye nyina organize na babia ka entumi nwura no na ya ye communal labor na ye de afele ekwan ye de ma contract abro mfie mienu enso sesi as a contractor no owo Ghana so watukwan so a yetumi nkyere ne bibia ni ha watwetwa gates akese a esio tope na ye ntontom edru sabre ya eye opebre de eye mfuturo nso nko a ka wo do ka si so na enre chi kra me ba me bu me spring enti ye kwa na de enye kra ti yesre se aban emeboa yen se contractor no na obetwe na ma na ba onhwem no manemra se ka bi nso no de na omomode no ntua na omeye because ensuo de to de a na che se kro no ka kra de ntumi nkokra.
In fact ye kwan ema ye problem papa a enya asem ketwa free say ekosi dwaboso nkwanta ekwan mu in fact say ye kwansini be ba kone fan na kwansini be mienu bibisa nanso aha kakra yi sa kwansini ba kwana kwansini mienu ekwani timisi a abraye ka entimi nko because of say ekwani titu posensuo to kakra bi mpo dia na just enyanyanya ka entimi nko ye people akesi mienu bi wo kwani mu a ena chese nya asem ketwa we sabi poni frimu a ota ene mekan say entontom ne niema e wo sa kuro we mu no because of say ye need us omo ye kwan amaye ye sere aban say ha ye to abapa ye to abama party bi obeba bia ye ni NDC ye ni MPP enso edi kwan ho yaw e wo yemu
ye kwan de enye kura week bia ji se to azova one to azova ji se sanitize eno asi omijobi ka ye kwa ye blaseta o kwan so
na basa eye kura ewo zabrama a ewo Pru West Mansini mu ewo bono East region wo mo so ekyerese eye wo mo ka nantwie ewo wo mo potem ho no etete wo papa wo mo afu mo mbekọ ne yakwa wi emu niema nyina ensu ewo ho nyina wo mo esebinum no wo mo ne anantwie eneche wo ho mo srempanifo se animu ya wo mo mra emehwe nye hu bibi ma mo enye sade ebesie no enye fekra
ni fo o ma ha ya che sisi basa ewe ye adwuma moana we bokwa kobo se moan kwa kwose wa de na se ukoka chiri fu ani a wo se nanam na age yen sebe nanam so je wa yen ka se fa bra wo mo wuwafu na moan ye medidi mu wo nanam so amane om se yeni mu hwe osu ko hu fu ani na busa na wo se nanam na age enti moan se de o ma se ye no ma che afezu kura ne ye me de kura mo ba ha ne se ye nananu mo betena no sebe ye de kwadwuma ne betena ha sese ne yasasi mo ase no ne ba bi kura dan park se ya hwe sase die ni ya ebedu me bi no ye manke to nyina pa bedan an roba o twitu a obekokuruma kobokro no sanse kwadwuma ne de tete no kwadwuma so wo ya mo ase no asase so ase ti de me sire ne sese aban wo mo aye no nyina ya chi na sa ha no nyina mfiri so na ye so ye nya aduane ni ne bi nuru kurom
anantwie ahembre haye ankanka yemia na wona ma wukuni ni hwa wuntime nante wuko hia mfire nini a wasa bia wo peye ni dia na ye ntwitwa saa wo me na bia wo ya hemfa wonni bia wurusu fire na gire wonya ankopon ni wusu fire ne na ano me banki matim ye kwa yie ye be ba akwawe mukunu mo ye be ba akwawe ye ni bia yira kwabona ama na ye firi sa wo keka be nimu wa da sa kwahene wo kwahene wo so kura na gutinya ba akwahwe asamba na sa wodi kwa wunya akigirafo me ba ba ko be ne na se no ba atu be di agu afuom e de woro ba akata so aso ani akwati ho na ano bokwe mfire nifo ba ko bie ama mo wa ba akwawe nti se hwan ba se ho ba aboboa ya sra ho na aba ne ho mo wa ye
sisi ni ya nse enantwi abedi afa yesi ya nananum sisi wo kan se afedi akura na ebe nse nananum binum kura wo ha wo mu si gem wo ne bi wo ka kan wo si da bi wo ne de wonim ba bi di abo ani firi fulani ni so ka kia na wo se an wo ne de nana we na de wo mo aba wo be kan nanan si da bi enye na nti yeso ya sra mu se mo ama ba no wo be di atum na mai dan ma hwe mo na mai na sesi ekuafo a yewo ha kuafo nkwa na yewo a yendo koko ye kashi okura kodia nda na mwa akwose no kashi onemba
yemfa kase bono enko amanone ensim yenko pie mu ewo oman Nigeria mu enchekra wɔn ɛbɛkɔ abato so akwakoyi wɔn ɔman no mpanimfoɔ na atumi aboa me akyekyere wɔn no eyie na no ɛna mpanimfoɔ ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ police officers bɛte sɛ ɛnwɔtwe ɛyade a sesia no yɛ amimfoɔ anasɛ rebels no wɔn akɔto ahyɛ wɔn so a wɔn akum wɔn nyinaa framfram na nipa bɛte sɛ 90 million ɛna wɔn aregister sɛ wɔn ba bɛto aba no na president ɔte so sesia ɛyɛ Muhammadu Buhari ɛyade a ne 2 terms no wakɔ awie nti wɔn ba bɛyi nipa foforɔ koraa na wahwɛ ɔman no ɛso ne no ɛna wɔn enya nhyɛaseɛ koraa na sɛ wɔn ɛnkɔɔyɛ asia nim ɛnkɔnkɔto aba no police officers wɔn bɛbɔ wɔn ho ɛban ama abatoɔ no adi muo no ɛyɛ rebels anasa amimfoɔ wɔn pɔtɛm hɔ no wɔn ahyɛ aseɛ atake wɔn a ekunkum ebinom a mpanifoɔ sɛ wɔn bɛhwɛ na wɔn atumi aboa na bambɔ mu atumi ayere ɛwɔ abatoɔ na wɔn ɛba abɛto no emu menyina we so na menkɔgye aboafoɔ nkrato emrame ba bongo di fara ɛde agodie mu nsɛm bɛba besom menkɔ baabi a yɛtwa yɛn ho abasisia